let's finish this. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here as promised with my review of the third and final season of Kuroko no Basket. And in what is arguably the most intense season in the series, we are down to the wire as there's only 4 teams left in the Winter Cup tournament, all vying to become the next basketball champions. We also get a really well-told backstory on the beginnings and eventual self-destruction of the Generation of Miracles, and the moment we all have been waiting for. The epic final showdown between Seirin High basketball team and their formidable opponent, Rankusan High basketball team, led by the former leader of the Generation of Miracles, Akashi. Now, I made a solemn vow in my Kuroko no Basket review way back in March that when the third and final season wraps up, I would watch and review it, and I wanted you guys to let me know. And you guys definitely did your part. I got tons of messages saying, hey, Kuroko no Basket is wrapping up. Are you still going to do the review? Well, I am a man of my word, and I cannot deny I love this series. It's one of the most intense and entertaining series about sports I've seen ever. In fact, I was jonesing for it, counting down the days until I could finally watch it. And now that day has finally come, and after watching the entirety of the third season, I gotta say, it does not disappoint. This is another fantastic season with a very satisfying conclusion. Every single element and every single point I mentioned about the first 2 seasons are presented here. Like the fantastic animation, production IG, you guys are just gods among gods when it comes to animation. Especially in the last 5 episodes of this season, that animation looks spectacular and mind-blowing. I could not take my eyes off from the screen because of how awesome the animation looked. But it's not just the spectacular animation that kept my eyes glued to the screen, but also the intensity of each and every basketball game in this season. I was on edge constantly, wondering who's gonna take the advantage. It would always flip-flop, like this team would have the advantage, but in the next episode this team would have the advantage, and you never quite knew who was gonna win. Yes, you kinda can guess who wins, but you don't know for sure, because it just kept going back and forth, and it just kept me so engaged. And overall, they were just thrilling to watch. The story is pretty much the same, as it is a continuation from the second season, but it's still really engaging as we see Seirin High go through trials and tribulations and face old and new foes alike as they try to climb their way to the top. As well as delving into some really interesting backstories in the season. The best one out of all of them, and the one that I was waiting for the most, was the backstory on the Generation of Miracles. How they all got started, their beginnings, how it was like for them playing in middle school, and then their eventual implosion. This backstory gave us so much insight on the personality of each member of the Generation of Miracles, and how they all ended up becoming the people that they are now. And also gave us insight on why Kuroko was so determined to defeat them all. And my god, talk about a bunch of assholes with no sportsmanship whatsoever. The shit that the Generation of Miracles did back in middle school just labeled them as a bunch of douches. And finally, the characters and various teams in the anime. All of our established characters and teams from previous seasons, they still have the same chemistry, they're all still very likable and entertaining, and they all got some good banter among themselves that added for some comedic moments in the anime. And as for some of the new additions in the season, some of the teams and their members came off as complete scumbags, especially the first team and their captain who went up against Kisei and Kaijo. That guy is a complete scumbag, and I hated his fucking guts. I know they were trying to make him seem a little bit more relatable, but for me, all the things that he did was just inexcusable and just a complete dick move. He's a complete dick. There is no redemption for this character. Just fuck you, buddy. And then there's Rakuzan. There has not been a more menacing, effective, and formidable team since the first time we saw Aomine and his team back in the first season and then in the second season. These guys take it to a whole nother level, especially with their captain, Akashi. You can definitely understand how he kept the Generation of Miracles in check. This guy, holy shit. And that Emperor Eye of his, wow, this guy is just menacing. He has this cool and determined demeanor, but also a superiority complex where he doesn't like when people talk down to him, and he makes them check themselves before they wreck themselves, literally. A couple times in the anime, he made my mouth drop in shock and awe at his presence. That is a good antagonist. And that epic 8-episode showdown against Saren and Rakuzan, goosebumps. Literal goosebumps. I was on the edge of my seat wondering who would come out on top, because honestly, it was anybody's game at that point. And just like seasons 1 and 2, I didn't really have any major issues with season 3. Sure, I had a few nitpicks, like some of the characters that played major roles in previous seasons were completely sidelined this season and didn't really have much to offer, but that's because their character arcs and stories were completed. They weren't really needed this season. They're only there to kind of like add some extra commentary in some scenes and to kind of show face, but other than that, they're not really needed. But it just was so painful to see them on the sidelines rather than in the game. Some of the basketball scrimmages were drawn out for way too long, but they were still really engaging to watch. And my biggest nitpick with this season is I wish we could have got more screen time and development on the blooming romance between the captain of the Saren High basketball team and the coach. There's been this underlining romantic vibe between these two characters for the past seasons that I wish they could have explored a little bit more. But I know that's not really the main focus of the anime. It's all about the basketball games. But as a fan of romance, I was just jonesing to see them actually go on a date or profess their feelings. They came close, but in typical cliche fashion, they were cut off before they could get to the main point. God damn it, I hate that. So creators of Kuroko no Basket, make me an OVA where these two actually go on a date. Please. Please. You can throw some basketball in it too, you know, just to appease the shonen crowd, but just do me that favor. Just make an OVA where they go on a date and we'll be a-okay. But forget those nitpicks. Overall, this is just another fantastic installment in an already excellent anime series with a very, very satisfying conclusion. And you already know what this season's gonna get, and that is a 5 out of 5 stars. It is an epic masterpiece. But anyway, what did you guys think about the third and final season of Kuroko no Basket? Did you really enjoy it? Did you get a kick out of it? Did you love it to death? Or did you find it really boring and cliche and just the same old, it's not that interesting anymore? And let me know, what is your favorite season of Kuroko no Basket, and who is your favorite character? Comment below and let me know. And stay tuned tomorrow. I'll have a review of Terminator Genesis and another top 10 coming next Wednesday. So until those videos come, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew and not miss out on a single awesome video, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you what in a second, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
No.